Hello, horse racing fans. It's Mark with AndHereTheyCome.com. Again, we're continuing our handicapping process for the 41st Breeders' Cup Championships to be held at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club next Friday and Saturday, November 1st and 2nd. Hey, what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the Juvenile Turf Division and how favorites do in the division, so you know how much emphasis you want to put on keying the favorites in your wagers, as well as looking at the winners and their payoffs and a couple of tips to use in the Juvenile Turf Division. So here we're looking at the last 14 years of favorites in the Juvenile Turf Division. And as you can see in red, only two winners. Only two winning favorites in the last 14 years. So that's good for us handicappers, horse players, so we can get a little bit of money here. Now, we also get favorites coming in second and third a fair amount of times, so they look to be prevalent in the top three spots of the trifecta, and probably key them in the bottom of the exacta in here as well. But they do not win the race. The favorite has only won twice in the last 14 years. So it looks like, I believe their average payoff in like the last 10 years is $17.95. So that's basically an 8-to-1 average odds on the winner. Again, only two favorites won in the last 14 years. However, favorites have finished second 6 times in the last 17 years. So about a third of the time, a little bit more than a third of the time, they will run second in the Juvenile Turf Division. 5 favorites in the last 14 years finished entirely out of the Superfecta. That's the top 4 spots. Didn't make it in the top 4 finishers. 5 out of the last 14. That's slightly more than a third of the time the favorite is off the board. They have, however, finished in the trifecta in 8 of the last 14 years. So that's just slightly over 50% of the time that they finish in the trifecta. Again, the average win payoff over the last 10 years is $17.92. So looking at this, we certainly want to use the favorite in the second and third spots, probably in the trifecta, but we're not going to use the favorite as our win selection. We're not going to use them as the win selection. Here is the 10 most recent winners in the Juvenile Turf Division. And as you'll notice here quickly, Europeans win this race a lot. In the last 10, it looks like they've won, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 10. So 50% of the time in the last 10 years, it's been won by the Europeans. And here's your 10-year average payoffs. Again, for the win was $17.95. For the $2 exacta, $197, because again, our favorite does run second a lot. The $1 trifecta is okay, $12.97, almost $1,300. So it's like almost 7 times the price of the exacta. And the dollar superfecta has paid a very good $9,486. Again, that's with our favorite being in the top 3 selections, an average of 7-to-1 winning the race, and then long shots at the bottom of the superfecta there, and we can make some money on that. The Euro Invaders, again, has won 5 of the last 10 editions. That's 50% hit rate. The top Euro trainer, Aidan O'Brien, he's won most of them. He won 4 of those 5 editions. European runners, the shippers, have dominated in this division, the juvenile turf division. They have 13 wins in the 17-year history of this division, far superior in the win end. The dollar superfecta, again, has averaged 94.86 over the last 10 years. So we want to make sure we're playing the superfecta here. Folks, we got to play the superfecta. We're keying the favorite in second and third positions, decent odds on top and long shots on the bottom. And remember this, only one California-based runner has hit the exacta in the history of this division, which is 17 years. So any of the California runners, and there will be some in here this year, we are not using them in the top two spots. We will not use them in the top two spots. Let me take a quick look here, see how many we got in here. The juvenile turf. So it looks like we're dominated by the Europeans in the pre-entries here. So actually, there's only one California-based runner for Phil D'Amato, top turf trainer, Iron Man Cow, that's in the pre-entry of this field for the pre-entries. But again, we're not going to use him in the top two positions. No California-based runners, okay? Even though we're in California, they do not show up in this division. Now we take a look at the winners of the Winning You're In Challenge series, races that were held throughout the year, where the winner gets an automatic berth into the corresponding division. In the last 12 years, a winner from the challenge races has been able to win the juvenile turf division 4 times. So about a third of the time, the winner of a challenge race is also taking down the juvenile turf division. As far as prep races go, it's any European prep. I mean, the Europeans, they won 12. Out of the 17 years. As far as the U.S.-based Winning You're In races, the best one that's produced the most winners for the U.S. in this division is the Pilgrim Stakes, who has won three times in the 17 years. This year's winner in the Pilgrim is Zulu Kingdom, which I'm not sure Zulu Kingdom's showing up this year in the juvenile turf. Let me take a quick look here, and I'll tell you real quickly. I forgot to write that down. Putting this thing together here. Bear with me a little bit. Juvenile turf, Kingdom, Zulu Kingdom. Zulu Kingdom's in here. Chad Brown runner. He's made the pre-entries. So give him extra consideration on structuring your tickets and how you're going to use them. Also, the winner of the Summer Stakes hasn't necessarily won a lot of these, but shows up in the second and third positions in your trifectas and superfectas. So this year, New Century was the winner of the Summer Stakes here. So we're going to include the Pilgrim Stakes winner and the Summer Stakes winner in our trifectas and superfectas, and along with all the Europeans. Europeans have dominated this race, and as far as the pre-entries go, they've got they have most of the entries. I think there's only like 3 U.S.-based runners so far in the field. We have proven winning profiles for each of the divisions, all 14 of the divisions. So what they do is they show you what has been the critical factors which have proven over the 40-year history of the Breeders' Cup to be critical in winning each of those divisions. With our profiles, you will know which prep races has provided the most winners and the most in-the-money slots for putting together your superfectas. You'll know which races the favorites prevail, have a a history of prevailing in the win slots, in the exacta slots, and which ones long shots tend to always show up in these positions. So it'll help you in putting together your pick threes and pick fours, fives, and even the pick six if you're playing that. You'll know which races you need to spread out in and which races you don't have to, that you're going to use the favorites as your key runners. Breeders' Cup races, it's a great time for horse players to try to cash in on the big tickets. But the races aren't what they seem to be at first glance. You need to know we've got a record number of international horses shipping in for this to the races this year. I believe it's 80, which was a record, and 19 Japanese runners are in. The large percentage of them are going to be Europeans who always show up in the turf races. So you got to know what are the key angles in deciding which ones you want to use in your in structuring your wagering tickets. With better information and sharper proven angles, you will be able to pick winners in on Breeders' Cup weekend. You got to be able to separate the contenders from those also pretenders. And that is what our proven winning profiles will do for you. Want to be able to give yourself every chance to cash in on Horse Players Super Bowl of the year, if you will. You can go out to our website, and here they are, and heretheycome.com, and you can order that, and it's available for immediate download. You don't have to wait to get that now. You also see we also make our selections, our picks available for all the races on the weekend, on Friday and Saturday, not just the Breeders' Cup races, but all the other stakes races on the card as well. Thanks for watching. I hope it helps you in deciding how you want to handle the favorites in the juvenile turf division, and make sure you know how important it is to use the European runners in this division. We'll get some more of these out here for each of the divisions as we go on, but we're 1 week out from the Breeders' Cup. So good luck for everybody. Start doing your homework, your handicapping. Get a copy of the Breeders' Cup winning profiles to assist you with that. Thanks for watching.